And now in our EasyButton.js we can start to create our button. And our button will have 3 states. So we'll have the primary state, the secondary, and the danger. And we will apply colors depending on those states. And first thing we need to do is to import our styled. And we'll use the CSS based here. So we'll say CSS from styled components. Then for our button we need to create our const, and we call it easy button. Say styled, and then we will use a touchable opacity. And we'll use a touchable opacity because we want to have some actions in this button. So we'll say touchable opacity, but keep in mind that you can use a button here or an anchor depending on which you choose. But because this is React Native, anchor doesn't exist here, or the button has to come from the React Native library. And for that we just choose to use a touchable opacity here. Then we will have our backtick, and here we open our backtick, and now we can apply our styles here. So this will be different than our style sheets in React Native, where we use the JavaScript based CSS, and here we can use the pure CSS names to apply the style to our touchable opacity. So the first one we'll have is the flex direction. So you can see already the difference, and we say it's a row. Then we can give it a border radius of 3 pixels. And also we need a padding of 10 pixels, so 10 pixels. Some margin as well of 5. And we have to justify the content to the center. So the only difference here is that we don't apply the quotes in our style here, so it just remains without quotes. And then we set the background as transparent. Now our main styles for the button are created. We need to have some methods that will come from the props to change this background here, so to have the different colors that we want. And for that we come down a few lines, and to create those attributes, those props to change the styles, we first need to pass a $sign and open curly braces to create our function. And then we'll have props inside, so this will come from the props when we will use this component and any other component. And then we give it arrow function, and then here we say props if we pass the primary props in our component. We can just say and, then we say CSS because we'll use the CSS, and then again backticks, and here we just say background, and we give it a color of 5CB85C. So whenever we pass the props primary to our button, because when we'll use our button we will use it like this, so easy button will be our button, and then we can pass the primary just like this to change our background color to this color that will be a green color. Now we can delete and keep configuring the rest. So for the second color we will want the secondary, and we say again $, props, props, and then again the arrow function, and we say props secondary, and the CSS and the backticks and the backticks, and again background. The color will be a blue color, so we'll just say it's 62 B1 F6. So we already have the primary and secondary, but we also want a third color. That will be the danger. That will, in this case, we'll use on our delete buttons, so we can have that danger color there. So again, $, props, then you say props danger CSS, and again background, and this will have a red color, the danger color. So F40105. So our colors are set, but we want also the options to choose the size of the button, so we don't need to add styling in the button itself when we use it in our component. For that, instead now of the background and now the primary, secondary or danger, we will use the large, medium and small methods. And again, just back here we will say again $, props, the arrow function, and then we say props large. So first we'll set the large button, and again give it some more space here, and again we can set our backticks, and we set here our width, so we can give a width of 135 pixels to our large button. So like this, then we can pass both props. We can pass the color props and then the size props to our button when we use it in our components. Next, we can copy, because we'll have two more, and the second one will be the medium, so medium size button, say medium, and then you can only pass 100 pixel, so this is our medium size button. And for the last one, we want a small button, and here we just change it to small, and then we just pass very small pixel count, so 40 pixel. And the only thing it's left so we can use our button is to export it. So down here, the semicolon here, and then you say export default easy button. So this is the way we create a styled component, and we can use now this button anywhere in our application and just call the props to change the color or the dimensions. And this is very useful when we want to create our own UI library.